Gypsy Rose Blanchard made $6,000 on her TikTok account before she deactivated it, and she wants that money. So TMZ put out this article, Gypsy Rose Blanchard TikTok money in Ryan's account. He hasn't reached out. Gypsy Rose is missing a pretty big bag from her TikTok account, several $1,000s that ended up in her estranged husband's hands when she deleted her account. Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ Gypsy, who had over 9 million TikTok followers, earned approximately $6,000 through the Creator Fund for all of her videos on her TikTok page, an account she needed to connect to a PayPal a couple of months ago. Since she didn't have a PayPal account, Gypsy hooked it up to her then husband Ryan Anderson's account, and she didn't really think about the money again. We're told social media was proving too stressful for Gypsy, and after a long talk with her parole officer, she decided to delete her TikTok. Our sources say Gypsy thought she would simply lose the money once deleting her account, but when she hopped back on the platform this week, she discovered TikTok had released the funds into Ryan's PayPal account. We're told Ryan hasn't said a word about receiving the $6K, and GRB hasn't asked for it, instead consulting with her divorce lawyer to see what they can do to retrieve it. Remember, Gypsy filed to divorce Ryan earlier this month amid a few blow-up fights over issues like Gypsy spending time with her family and Ryan loading up the fridge with leftovers. They don't have a prenup, and Gypsy wants spousal support, which could further complicate proceedings. The missing TikTok money will only add to the drama. So now we've learned that Gypsy didn't actually delete her TikTok account, she just deactivated it. So chances are, at any given point, she could reactivate that account with 9 million followers whenever she wants to. Now, as far as the PayPal, yes, the TikTok Creator Fund does require you to link your account to a PayPal account. So this money, for all we know, could still be sitting in Ryan's PayPal account, and he has no idea. But like the article stated, Gypsy hasn't asked him about it. Instead, we ran to TMZ so that they could write a story on it. Like, this is just crazy to me. Now, we recapped the entire divorce crap show in my last video, and you guys saw how many articles came out like every 2 to 3 days. And now here we are with another article from TMZ. Like, is it really about the $6,000, or is it about continuing to try to make Ryan out to be the bad guy? Now, I'm sure Gypsy wants her $6,000. It's pretty obvious that she wants to make as much money as humanly possible. I think we all can agree on that. Now, this is what people are saying on TikTok. Ryan should keep it, and Gypsy should go back to prison for schmurder. He should be able to keep it. Move on, Gypsy. I'm sure he spent a lot on you when you were in prison and when you got out. Honestly, I think Ryan should keep the money because I'm sure he's been sending her money when she was in prison. Seems to me like she used him. Keep it. She was fine with losing the $6K, but she's not fine with somebody else gets it. Now, don't quote me on this because I could be wrong, but that money could be considered a marital asset since it was money earned that they made while they were in their marriage. And remember, Ryan created Gypsy's social media accounts for her before she ever got out of prison. So although she ended her account at around 9 million followers, she had, I think it was around 500,000 followers that she had accrued just from Ryan posting things on her social media account for her. Now, I'm sure Gypsy wants her $6,000. It's pretty obvious that she wants to make as much money as humanly possible. I think we all can agree on that. I just think it'll be interesting to see how this plays out since Ryan did have a hand in helping her build her social media following. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, on TikTok, in the Creator Fund, you only make money on videos that are over a minute long. So although every one of Gypsy's videos pretty much had millions and millions of views, she did not make money on every single video. It was only certain videos. And then those have certain qualifications or requirements that you have to meet to even earn revenue. For example, most of the views have to come from the For You page, and they have to watch it for at least, I think, the first 5 seconds. So she didn't make money off of every video, but $6,000 is still a lot to be in your creator fund. I just wonder how much TMZ is paying for each article, because I'm sure she's made a pretty little penny off of these articles that have come out just over the past 3 weeks. I just don't understand what the thought process behind all of this is, because her show comes out in June. That's really, really soon. So I don't understand why we're making this divorce as messy as possible and putting out article after article after article when this is not making her look good. She has said she wants her divorce to play out publicly, so maybe she just wants the money and doesn't really care how she looks. I mean, TMZ has put out a plethora of articles ever since she announced her separation, so I think it's pretty obvious to everyone that she has a relationship with TMZ, or someone in particular at TMZ. So let's talk about that. Now, before Gypsy deleted her TikTok account, she was actually following a TMZ reporter. You see her name way down at the bottom there? It's Charlie Neff.
Hey guys, it's Charlie Neff from TMZ.
Now, when I first saw that Gypsy was following her, I went to look at her TikTok account, and she wasn't very active on there. Her last video she posted was from like January, but more recently, she's been posting TMZ articles, but mainly updates about Gypsy. So I was watching a few of her videos, and I came across this one. So the caption says, "The email Gypsy Rose sent me from prison about her love for Taylor Swift's music." So we're going to watch this video, but Gypsy had already established a relationship with this TMZ reporter while she was still incarcerated.
Hey guys, this is Charlie Neff from TMZ. I did the story a while back on TMZ about Gypsy Rose's love for Taylor Swift's music, and in light of the Tortured Poets Department releasing yesterday, I thought I'd read you Gypsy's email that she sent to me from prison about her love for Taylor Swift. So when Gypsy was in prison in Missouri, I had sent her an email as a reporter. The prison that she was at allowed inmates to respond to people via email, and she allowed me to quote her on the record about her love for Taylor Swift. And I already did the story, but I wanted to read you her email in full in her own words. So Gypsy started off her statement by saying, "I first became a fan of Taylor when she started her career in country music, and I followed her journey as an artist ever since. Aside from her music, I think as a person, she seems like a pretty kick-ass chick who is showing the world the true meaning of girl power." She goes on to say, "My father sends me a monthly allowance for commissionary items, and I spent a whole month's allowance on buying every Taylor Swift album. So I purchased every original album, plus every album of the re-released Taylor's version. My playlist is literally almost all Taylor Swift. Laugh out loud." She goes on to say, "Taylor and I are around the same age, and through the years, I have aged with her. Just as she has had her eras, I have had mine, and her music saw me through some of the best and worst times in my life. Her song, Eyes Open, which talks about keeping your eyes focused on what you want in life, was especially encouraging while I was going through the abuse I suffered, and also while in prison. It kept me motivated toward the freedom that would one day come." She ended her email by saying, "Yes, I do watch NFL football during regular season. My prison facility has a Super Bowl extravaganza party every year held in our gym. And I'm actually both a Kansas City Chiefs and New Orleans Saints fan because I grew up half my life in Louisiana and the other half in Missouri. So both are my home teams. But now I am favoring one over the other for obvious reasons." So after Gypsy got released from prison at the end of last year, she had tickets to go to a Kansas City Chiefs game where she was hoping to see Taylor, and also she is a fan of the Kansas City Chiefs. But our sources told us that her parole officer said that she needed to leave the state ASAP. Gypsy has never met Taylor. She still hasn't seen her. She does plan to go to Taylor's concert in New Orleans at the end of this year. Do you think Taylor would ever meet Gypsy? Let me know why or why not in the comments below, and don't forget to follow.
So her videos are also interesting because when she talks about these stories from TMZ, she will say, I am learning instead of we have learned.
So if you remember, we did the story a couple days ago, basically saying that Gypsy Rose and her now estranged husband, Ryan, when they were together and living together, they had an argument over his alleged food hoarding. And what ended up happening was Gypsy got so fed up with all the food that was in the fridge that she went in the fridge, threw everything away, and totally cleaned it out, and he was not happy about that. Well, I now know what was in that fridge. So some of you may have thought that in the back of this fridge, he had an old Big Mac, old milk, all these condiments. It's actually not what Gypsy threw away. So I was told that Ryan and Gypsy would go out to eat very often. And when they would dine out, they would get an appetizer, split that. But then Ryan would always get his food to go. So he started packing the fridge with all these to-go boxes filled with like One example I was told was like pasta would be in a to-go box. But also they've been filming for Lifetime, her season 2 of her Lifetime show, and the production would actually give them food as well. So this fridge was packed with to-go boxes from both dining out and from production, and it was chaotic. Gypsy didn't know what was old, what he was going to eat, what he wasn't going to eat. So eventually she went in there, she threw it all away. So the argument that happened after Gypsy threw all of his to-go boxes away was Ryan basically saying, why did you throw that away? I was going to eat that. But, Gypsy's like, I didn't know you were going to eat that. I didn't know what you're going to eat, what you weren't. And he's like, well, I was going to eat that. And that was kind of what had happened here. By the way, let's not make this a weight shaming thing. I know people think Ryan's a big boy. I was actually told he's lost a ton of weight and at one time weighed 500 pounds. So he's actually been doing pretty good. So now that you guys know exactly what she threw away that was in the fridge, whose side are you on? Do you side with Gypsy? Do you side with Ryan? Do you think it was doomed from the beginning? Let me know in the comments.
So when she says I instead of we, or we at TMZ, it makes me think that she's the direct source to Gypsy. And I'm not able to confirm this because for some reason TMZ does not credit their writers in their articles. Now, she does get negative feedback on her videos, however, she doesn't ever reply. Now, someone commented on one of her latest videos, why are you villainizing the guy and judging him? She's the one that used him, and honestly, she's the one that did 10 years. Y'all gotta chill out. Now, I did leave a comment asking how much TMZ was paying Gypsy, but we all know I'm not gonna get a reply back. Oh, by the way, look who else Charlie Neff follows. That's right, Ken Urker. Just imagine going through a public divorce with someone and them having a major media outlet in their back pocket. Now, like I mentioned before, Gypsy's show will air in June, and I know some people are not in the United States and others just do not want to pay to watch it. So I'm going to take one for the team like I did for the last show, and we're going to live stream it on TikTok. So if you haven't already, go over and give me a follow. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you could, please do me a huge favor and give it a thumbs up. It helps my video get out into the algorithm. And if you enjoyed it, consider subscribing, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.